And we're continuing this morning with our Donate Life Green Chair sit-in. We're checking back in with Kara Steele this morning. Kara, you talked to us earlier on in the program about your experience with organ donation and how you got to spend decades more years with your father, Harvey, as many people know around the area from listening to K100. So it's been a great morning so far, getting to check in with people and hear their stories about how organ donation has changed their lives. And as you said, it gave you a career too, huh?
It did. I can blame him in a great way for that. So obviously, the 20 additional years I got to spend with my dad is something I will be forever grateful for, and also why I'm so passionate about working at Life Connection of Ohio. And I like that you can see the comfy chair that I'm sitting in, even though I have this virtual background on. Just very fancy right now.
Yeah, you guys have made it work, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And I think the stories that have been shared today, you heard from a heart recipient and a cornea recipient, a little bit from me and an amazing donor family. I mean, the donor families are the heroes of donation, is what my father always used to say. Allowing their loved one to give that gift of life and to live on in others is an amazing gift and something that I know we're all very grateful for.
You could potentially save 8 lives and help and 120 something more with tissue donation as well. And people probably don't realize that. With the donor families, do you know in many cases, do recipients know who their donors are, or vice versa?
So we have a wonderful aftercare program. Shout out to Tracy Kropp with Life Connection of Ohio, and she takes care of our donor families as they start that grief journey. So we have a 15-month aftercare program, and we support them. We provide bereavement resources, give them opportunities to volunteer with Life Connection of Ohio to honor and remember their loved one. And we are seeing more and more people correspond with their donor families, and Tracy's the one who facilitates that correspondence. So we encourage people to write first, and then if they'd like us to help facilitate an actual face-to-face meeting, that's something that's always incredibly powerful, especially for the donor families, to see that their loved one is able to live on in the people that are standing before them.
Yeah, and we've heard those stories here before in years past during our sit-ins. For people at home, they may still be, I'm not sure if I want to sign up, if I want to say yes. There are some misconceptions out there. So talk us through a few of those.
Sure. I think the number one misconception, I've been at Life Connection of Ohio now for 15 years, which is kind of hard to believe, but in those 15 years, the number one misconception that I hear is people who are worried, if I've said yes on my driver's license and I'm in the hospital, are those doctors and nurses really going to work hard to save my life if they know I'm a registered donor? And the answer is, absolutely, saving lives is the number one priority in those hospitals. Those doctors, those nurses in that setting are only concerned with saving someone's life. If unfortunately they've done everything they can to save that person and that person passes away, that's when Life Connection of Ohio gets involved to carry out that process if that's something that they wanted to do. So there's 2 separate teams of people involved, and of course lives being saved is the number one priority in those cases.
Right, so you don't have to worry about that when you say yes, and there's no cost associated with any of your programs, right?
That's correct. So of course it's a donation, it's an organ donation, so families are not burdened with any kind of cost associated with that. So Life Connection of Ohio and other organ procurement organizations would pick up any costs associated with donation to ensure the family does not need to pay for any of that.
So people at home say, I'm sold, I'm ready to say yes, I want to make that decision. Of course, when you go to the BMV, to get your new driver's license or whatever, they always ask you, but is there another way for people to sign up and say yes?
There is. So if you don't want to wait for that trip to the BMV to answer that question, whether you'd like to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor, you can actually just go right onto our website, lifeconnection.org. It takes less than 2 minutes to say yes to saving lives that way. And one person has the power to save 8 lives through organ donation. So an amazing life-saving legacy that can be left through this gift.
It's very easy to do. All right, Kara, thank you so much for, talking us through some of those misconceptions. So put people at ease. And we're going to hear more stories on WTOL 11 News at noon today as well. So we're looking forward to that. Kara, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later.